A player that always seemed to have a smile on his face. There was a period when Ronaldinho was the greatest footballer on the planet. But let's have a look at 8 players who you might have forgotten played alongside him during his career. MIKEL ARTETA. MIKEL ARTETA seems to have followed the natural ascension from Arsenal to Manchester City following his retirement last year, now working as Pep Guardiola's number 2 following their time spent at the Nou Camp in the late 90s. However, it wasn't in Catalonia when the Spaniard came across Ronaldinho. The two linked up in Paris, with Arteta joining on a season-long loan deal during the 01-02 season. The former Everton man has played alongside Thierry Henry, Andres Iniesta and Lee Carsley, but it's probably no surprise that he's named the Brazilian as the most naturally gifted of the bunch, Felipe Senderos. Alright, so they can't all be winners. God only knows what sort of unholy things Ronaldinho did to Felipe Senderos in training. He's made a career out of being bamboozled by far lesser opponents. The Swiss defender's loan deal to AC Milan during the 08-09 season was bizarre, as were the 14 times the Rossoneri allowed him to step foot on the pitch. SOKRATIS Papasthathopoulos. British commentators everywhere probably wince every time SOKRATIS Papasthathopoulos is linked with a Premier League team, but it's just reward for some fine performances over the last few seasons for Borussia Dortmund. However, it's easily forgotten that he was a virtually unused spare part at the San Siro during the 10-11 season, making just 7 appearances. Another great decision by the Milan board, huh? Emmanuel Villa. Emmanuel Villa's name might ring a bell to English audiences, but only because he was part of the worst Derby County, no hang on, the worst Premier League team of all time, when the Rams were relegated with 11 points some 9 years ago. Well, having fled England not long after that, he's bounced around Mexican clubs before ending up at Querétaro, where he's been fortunate enough to link up with Ronaldinho during the Brazilian short-lived stage during the 14-15 season. I wonder if he regaled the Brazilian with tales of Robbie Savage and Kenny Miller. Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino wasn't a name too familiar with English audiences before he came in and stole poor old Nigel Atkins' job 4 years ago. At least that's how the media portrayed it. However, it is worth remembering that while he's carved out a brilliant management career, his playing days weren't too shabby either. The former centre-back made 70 appearances for PSG, so he had front row seats to the Ronaldinho show every week. RICARDO QUARESMA. RICARDO QUARESMA was always a talent that never caught fire the way it should have. The Portuguese winger is always produced in his homeland, but whenever one of Europe's super clubs came calling, he flopped. He spent 1 season at the Nou Camp, fell out with Frank Rijkaard and negotiated a move back to Portugal via FC Porto. Anderson. Don't laugh, but there was a time when Anderson, along with a certain Giovanni Dos Santos, was tipped as Ronaldinho's heir. It makes little sense considering the former Manchester United man looked like he probably had cookies stashed in his dressing room half the time. How he managed to survive 8 years at Old Trafford is anyone's guess. His conversion to a deep line midfielder was almost instant, with his free-roaming style of Gremio curbed. He only represented the Selecao 8 times, but was part of their 2008 Olympic side, and was in the team that beat New Zealand 5-0, with Ronaldinho scoring twice. Gabriel HEINZE. Manchester United may have nearly run themselves into the ground trying to drag Ronaldinho by the buck teeth in the summer of 2003, but the PSG star found the lure of Barcelona too much. The following summer, the club returned to negotiate with PSG for the transfer of Gabriel HEINZE. A far more straightforward deal, although the man himself will compensate by giving the club a summer of headaches down the line. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and make sure you check out Footy Feed for all the latest transfer rumours and news.